Today on School Matters. So long, summer, we're going back to school.
Thanks for participating in the Million Father March today.
And at one Duval County Elementary, the first day was all about dads. Why the district is calling those dads 1 in a million.
And I'm really looking forward to this year as we are all aboard for another exciting year.
The first wave of school grades are out, and the news is good. We've got more on why the state of Florida is congratulating Duval schools. And we're sitting down one-on-one with Superintendent of Schools, Ed Pratt-Daniels, what he expects this school year and what he did on his last first day of school. School Matters starts now.
Hello, and thanks so much for watching this season's very first episode of School Matters. I'm Vicki Pierre, one of the producers of the show. We've missed you over the summer, and we've got a lot to catch up on today, so consider this your official back to school episode. But first, you're probably asking yourself a couple of questions now. Number one, what's with this new set? And number two, where are the student hosts? Well, we figured you'd ask, and so we've got your answers.
Lights, camera, and action. Get ready for a new year and a new look here on School Matters. This year we're moving our set from Atlantic Coast High School to right inside of the Klein Auditorium, which is in the main school district building downtown. If that sounds familiar, it's the same place where school board members hold their monthly meetings. But when you watch the show, it won't look like we're inside of the district building. It will look like we're on a regular news set. That's all thanks to green screen technology. It allows us to use a special program to create what we call virtual sets. With the click of a mouse, we've got a desk, some scenery, and the flexibility to do some pretty creative new things on our show. All we're missing are some hosts. That's where our students come in. Right as school started, we put out a casting call to see just how many talented Duval County Public School students would come out and audition for our shows, Real School and School Matters. We had a record-breaking 70 kids show up. We came up with a short script for students to read from a teleprompter and let them show us what they've got. With all of the bright and talented kids who came out to audition and only 7 slots to fill, we were faced with a tough question. Who do we choose? Keep watching and we'll fill you in.
We'll have much more on the audition process later on in the show, but for now, let's get back to school. Now, you could really feel the excitement all across the district as kids were headed back to school on August 20th. But imagine going to 5 schools in just a couple of hours. Well, that's what Superintendent Ed Pratt-Daniels did, and he wasn't alone. School Matters producer Matt Began has more on his busy morning.
Happening to move the school even to a next higher level.
This was a normal activity. That's right. Normal activity.
It's going to be a flat surface. What shape do you think? So you're excellent.
Go out and go out into the hall. Very excited.
school, but it's important for you as individuals. So we're all behind you, want you to be successful.
We're now joined by the Superintendent, Ed Pratt-Daniels. Thank you so much for joining us today on this first episode of School Matters. First of all, it may seem kind of random to the average person, these schools that you visited on the first day, but why did you choose to go to some of them?
Well, a lot of them had made significant progress. Andrew Jackson was the first school we visited, but also worked with the mayor's office. He's trying to get out to schools as well, so we tried not to duplicate schools he had already been in. And so we worked our schedules together, and that's really good to have that presentation to schools. We had an opportunity, some of our board members joined us for a couple of the schools. We went to classrooms together and talked with students, encouraged them to work hard, to keep reading, to set goals. And it was great, I think, to have the superintendent and mayor and a board member each kind of on the same message, expecting students to work hard. And if they do, they can be successful.
And you did mention that some of these schools made major academic progress. In terms of the entire school district, do you think that's going to be the track record for this coming school year?
Absolutely. I think we had a great year. As you know, we expected the school grades to go down significantly because of the change of cut scores on the FCAT test. We actually improved more than we did. Our A's went up higher, our S went down lower. We kind of closed the gap with Duval and some of the other large urban districts where we may not have been performing as well as they had. And so all in all, we had a very successful year, particularly where we thought we might have been.
That's really good news, beginning the school year on a high note. And I have to ask, I know this is your first day of school. What was it like for you to visit schools, and are these memories you're going to remember even more so just because it was that last time for you?
Well, some of it's sinking in. I'm trying to get to every school before I leave, so that's a really tight timeline. I'm getting to 3, 4, 5 schools a day. And as people come up, they're saying, "Did you were my vice principal in so-and-so school," or you taught my daughter, or so a lot of that's coming back over time. I'm sure the reality won't really set in until I'm gone, but it's beginning to, and it really is great to go out and see and make that connection. I guess because I've been in the district for 36 years, and I think I'm in my 13th or 14th job. I've been in a lot of different situations. I've had contact with people, and it's great to have that interaction as kind of one of the last legacies of me leaving.
Well, you certainly have quite a task to visit all of our schools before your time is gone here, but good luck with that. And we will be back with the superintendent in just a few minutes. We are not done yet with School Matters.
Coming up on School Matters, looks like the Duval County School District is making the grade. The great news we got this summer with the release of school grades. And we've got even more stories to tell you through our other TV show, Real School. A sneak peek on what you can expect on the first episode of the season, coming up. Duval County Public Schools serves more than 4,000 students through the English Speakers of Other Languages program. Those students represent 123 countries and 73 languages in 158 schools. And now, you know.
I care. Hi, I'm Ed Pratt-Daniels, Superintendent with Duval County Public Schools. And I want to remind our students as we begin the school year to get plenty of rest, to read each night, to get exercise each day, and to set and attain high goals.
I'm Mayor Alvin Brown, and I want to encourage you to make sure you eat a healthy breakfast and attend school every day. You have to be in the game to win the game.
I'm Jeremy Mincy, defensive end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Respect yourself, your parents, your teachers, and your classmates. Success is a team effort.
And I'm Sheriff John Rutherford. Make good choices, and remember that every decision you make has good and bad consequences. So choose your friends wisely and don't give in to negative peer pressure.
We all care.
Welcome back to School Matters. Now, we all know that getting your report card in the mail is always a pretty big deal, so just imagine what that experience may be like for a whole school. Well, fortunately, there was a lot of good news in store for Duval County when the state of Florida released school grades for elementary and middle schools this summer. Our cameras were there as the superintendent made the exciting announcement.
Good morning. As you know, this morning the Department of Education for the state of Florida released school grades.
It's the kind of news that had students, parents, and even members of the press lined up inside of North Shore Elementary in the middle of the summer. It was time for everybody to find out whether all of this school's hard work paid off.
Congratulations to North Shore. As you know, 2 years ago, North Shore was an F school. This past year went to D. This year going to B, and we fully anticipate moving on to A. She and her faculty, who are behind us here, did a great job.
The applause is a welcome sound to the district leaders and school board members who were also there with the superintendent. They say North Shore Elementary is only part of the district's success story this year. Check out these numbers. The number of A schools in our school district went up by 9. 83% of all of the district schools received excellent, good, or satisfactory grades. And the number of F schools went down by more than half. And if you think all of that sounds impressive, so does the state of Florida. Our school district was the only one in the state to both increase the number of A schools and decrease the number of F schools.
It is so exhilarating. It's wonderful. I'm so proud of the teachers, the students. We all pitched in and worked as one huge team. And it's been a process in the making, going up each year.
The big news had everybody asking, how did the district do it? What was the key to success? Turns out everyone had a different answer. From the students,
they helped a lot. They gave us strategies to do our work, and they just pushed us until we got it right.
To the principals,
I would think that students are working harder themselves. The parents are participating more. When the teachers call, they are coming out more, and it makes a big difference in the schools.
And to the board members.
Since I've been on the board working with the superintendent, we have implemented a lot of policies and changes. And change takes time. And we've made steady progress the last 4 or 5 years. And this year is, I think, the first time we can say we really exceeded the state.
Mm-hmm. And as for North Shore Elementary, the principal says the school's next goal is to get that A.
I have the best faculty, staff, students, and support that anyone can imagine. And I'm really looking forward to this year as we are all aboard for another exciting year.
Clearly really exciting news there and reason to bring in the superintendent again. And I have to say it's really impressive that this is the only district in the state that increased A's and decreased F's. First of all, were you surprised to hear that?
No, I wasn't, because we did so much work on the F's, getting them out of what used to be called intervene is now called priority. A lot of resources, time, effort, etc. But a little surprised about the A's, because we'd anticipated that about a third to half of the A's would go down to B's. And so really pleased, and particularly pleased that some schools that had never been A in these much harder requirements got to A. And it began to show that we can beat the odds in terms of whether or not there's a direct connection between poverty and school grades. Unfortunately, there's still some correlation. We're showing, beginning in elementary, and now we're going to have to move that to middle, that we can beat those odds, and that's what we're going to need to do to eliminate the achievement gap.
And so not only did the state, I guess, have some tougher standards, but this district, you and the board worked on kind of raising the bar for the school district as well. How did that help in this area, in your opinion?
Well, I don't think there's any question that 6 years ago we put in place higher graduation requirements. This was a part of a committee that I was involved with when I was the chief academic officer. And so in order to have students prepared for that, we've had to expect more students in middle school and in elementary school. So we've raised the floor now so that all students have to leave prepared to go on to college or further training. That may be a training program at the state college, maybe a 4-year degree. And that certainly has helped immensely as far as raising expectations for all students. We kind of look at it as raising the floor, and then we've also put in place a number of acceleration programs that raises the ceiling. So for those students that were already doing well, expecting a lot more of them, more college-level courses while in high school, and so doing both in conjunction with each other has really made a difference.
And speaking of high school, we haven't gotten those grades yet, just elementary and middle. What accounts for I guess, the amount of time as far as having to wait to get that information?
Well, about half of the high school grade now is still FCAT. The other half is factors before that weren't there. It now includes 11th and 12th graders. Before, the FCAT was only 9th and 10th, and so we were leaving out the performance of our 11th and 12th graders. So college readiness is now a factor. Do they get a requisite score on ACT, SAT, or PERT? Have they taken and completed a college-level course, advanced placement, international baccalaureate, ACE? Have they done one of those courses in order to move forward? Dual enrollment, that's part of that too. And then the graduation rate, and then what's called the bottom quartile graduation rate, which is the students who are the lowest performing coming from 8th to 9th. What happens to them 4 years later? How many of those graduate is now a factor. So all 4 of those go in and are added to FCAT to get the full grade. We don't get the graduation rates until November. That's why we have to wait for the full grade to come in November, December timeframe.
I didn't realize those rates came out that time of the year, but we'll certainly be looking forward to that. And we've got much more School Matters for you. Here's what's coming up.
It's called the Million Father March, and hundreds of Duval County dads participated. We'll tell you what it is and why these dads are hoping to make a difference. We're giving you another look inside the audition process for School Matters. Who made the cut? We'll keep watching to find out. And it's been a full year since the district launched Read It Forward Jacks. We'll tell you how much money has been raised and why board members say they aren't done yet. Duval County Public Schools is the 22nd largest district in the nation and the 6th largest in the state of Florida. Last year, there were close to 125,000 students enrolled in 180 schools. According to the Jacksonville Business Journal, Duval County Public Schools is the 2nd largest employer in the city with over 14,000 employees. And now you know. "70 students auditioned for 7 host positions. 4 were selected for School Matters, and 3 were selected for Real School. Tune in and find out who made the cut. Coming this fall."
A year ago, we first told you about Read It Forward Jacks, an ambitious campaign geared toward getting more books in the hands of our students. The campaign has gone so well, the district held a celebration at Highlands Elementary School. Superintendent Ed Pratt-Daniels joined in on the fun, and so did board members Paula Wright, Fel Lee, and Becky Couch. They say through Read It Forward Jacks, the community has helped the district raise $76,000 and give away 27,000 books. And speaking of giving away books, these students at Highlands got to leave with a Read It Forward Jacks bag stuffed with books and other goodies they could take home.
We exposed our children to different types of genres, different level texts, and just different authors and books in general. And so we were able to create a love for reading to where they wanted to read at home and read here at school in their free time. So therefore, they increased their reading proficiency.
By the way, Highlands Elementary School went from an F to an A this school year, so congratulations to them. If you want more information on Read It Forward Jacks, including how you can give, go to readitforwardjacks.org.
And this school year, the district wants to make sure dads are more involved than ever. And what better day to get dads on board than on the first day of school? This year, the district asked dads to take their kids to school on the first day. We took a trip to San Mateo Elementary School. The sign outside of San Mateo Elementary says it all: Million Father March. A million dads didn't show up, but everywhere we looked, we saw plenty of dads taking their kids to school.
I think it's great. This is third generation for us. I started kindergarten here 50 years ago. Now my granddaughter's coming here, so I think it's really neat. It's really a stepping stone this year. Yeah.
Thanks for participating in the Million Father March today. And that's about our All Pro Dad program.
That's Andy Morlock. He's handing out these 1 in a Million stickers as well as flyers for the San Mateo and Ocean Way chapter of All Pro Dads. He says for a father to go out of his way to take his kids to school on the first day is a big deal.
Kids will remember this day for the first half of the year. Dad brought me to school. Everything that you do with Dad, it's always a big deal. Women are so involved, and we have to be appreciative of what women do. But having your dad go out of his way to do something special like this, it's something they're going to remember the whole year.
But he says when dads go a step further and really get involved in their kids' lives, that is what can change the course of their future.
Study after study shows kids that have men involved in their lives, positive male role models, they're more likely to go to college, less likely to have teen pregnancy, less likely to use drugs. I push that. I push it. I coach youth football. The kids that have dads in their lives, uncles in their lives, mentors are just ahead of other kids. And I want every kid to have that same advantage.
Here at San Mateo, you can see dads are being welcomed with open arms. And like the rest of the district, staff members say they'd like to see more dads become more involved by volunteering in schools.
I think that's a great thing. I think anytime you can get involved in your children's lives, that's wonderful.
Having active fathers actually means a lot because you keep them on that right track, because kids so easy to get, deterred, and that peer pressure and everything else, they will fall off the line and start doing things because they think somebody else is doing something and it's cool, but really it's not. So I have to kind of bring the old school back in and show them the right way.
You want to put that on him? All right. Right on the chest. And say, thanks for bringing me.
Morlock says it's looking like close to 200 San Mateo dads brought their kids to school. That's hundreds of dads he says are already making a huge difference this school year.
There is joy. I hand a kid a sticker to put on their dad, and they say, thanks, Dad. And it's awesome. The happiness and joy they feel, and the confidence that they feel on day one, having Dad, their protector, there with them. It's awesome.
Dads who are interested in volunteering should contact their kids' schools. They could also contact the Department of Community and Family Engagement. That number is 904-390-2960. All right, guys, before we head out, I promised we'd have more on the audition process. Well, out of the 70 wonderful students who auditioned, we could only pick 4 high school students for School Matters. It was a tough decision, but with the help of our judges, we narrowed it down, and I think you'll like who we came up with. Who are they? Well, you'll have to watch the next episode of School Matters to find out, and that will begin airing late October and early November. We also don't want you to forget about our other show we also held auditions for, Real School. We're working on a lot of stories for our next episode, including the big rush at the Teacher Supply Depot as men and women grab goodies for their classroom. We're taking a look at City Year, a national program that's made its way to Andrew Jackson High School, how it will help students succeed. And a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars made a special trip to one of our elementary schools. We'll tell you what he talked about and why it's important.
Thanks again for watching this episode, and on behalf of the superintendent and the rest of Duval Schools, we are so glad you decided to tune in to School Matters. And just one last question. We're in the beginning of the school year. What is your advice for parents and students?
What I said in the early video was get plenty of rest, eat healthy, get exercise, set goals, and keep reading. And if you do those things, you'll be prepared.
Plain and simple and to the point. Good advice. Thank you so much for joining us. And it does not stop here. Remember, you can always go to duvalschools.org. We are always working to post lots of videos on other positive things going on in the district. See you later. Thanks for joining us.